none of this stuff is emergent, it's long-term, and we'll be able to maybe touch a bit on it in the strategic sessions if we don't have them. And, you know, so.
Just, I guess the question through to, how does this, why does this affect the working group? Why would you ask that this be acted before the working group? This doesn't affect the working group committee. Council has said that the EA is for the EA and it's covering all the areas. So to have this back before the working group, I guess that's the question I'd ask.
Is it a reasonable time frame?
Reasonable time. Councillor Ullman?
Well, I guess it's 7.4.
7.4, we're having a discussion here. This is too important to shut it down to one per, so I think we need to talk about this.
This is not emergent, this is long-term. Do it right, get the reporting right. There are significant issues here. All of this is going to move forward. So don't try to push staff to do something too quickly involving this. I don't see where there's anything to do with the working group. Get on with it. When the recommendations come back, they will be approved by this group because this is the direction the majority wish to go. But let's do it right.
Since this is strategic planning and not throw 7.4, this is strategic planning, then we have to have discussion. This is not a regular council meeting, right? Anymore, or quasi-regular council meeting.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Is the concern with the working group that if, because zones 3 and 4 aren't immediate, this is going to impact the size of the plant, or is that the concern?
I mean, well, yes, the working group does want to determine what flows would be in the first phase. Of course, the working group is tasked with covering the whole, the flows that were identified in the master plan and the ESR, and that's their expectation. Is they're going to plan for that. But for the first phase, it appears that if in fact we do pass this motion, zones 3 and 4 will not be in the first phase. So if that's the case, then we're going to have to define what exactly our flows are. And that's, maybe I'll deal with it after we make this decision, but there will be definitely an impact on, this decision itself will impact what the working group is doing, because it will impact flows.
Councillor Russell.
Well, if we go to number 3, which is really the one we're talking to Mr. Mayor in terms of this working group, it says to enlist their expertise in managing the wastewater challenges in zone 3 and 4. So if they were going to help us by enlisting their expertise, it may be that we end up with a multi-layered recommendation from the rural wastewater center. It may be nuanced. It may not be all of one. It may be whatever. I think I support this more in terms of the totality. I think it can add to what Deputy was talking about in her process. But I think the fact of the matter is that it is what it is. We're going to be doing the whole using their expertise. They would make recommendations. They are not going to look at it in isolation from anything that we already have from our wastewater management. These people are university people. They're not going to do it in isolation. So I think we have to understand that they're going to bring their expertise to the table. Now we're looking at things, and that we can use throughout the whole town. The fact of the matter is, it will relate to it. I'm not sure how until I see that, but at this point in time, I can't see us stopping the process, because then your process is pretty well. It's time. It's a need.
Well, yeah, I agree with Councillor Russell. I don't see how anything that's coming out of recommendation 3 is going to impact what your working group is, because they're not going to have results back in a short time. There's too much work there to get back in a space of time to affect. So I think if you're working with numbers already, that's the numbers that you're going to have to plug into the system to make your recommendation. I don't know what Stantec's done to date. We're paying $57,000 for work. I hope they're doing some work right now. Not waiting for your recommendations on August 31st to make a recommendation for September 1st. So I hope they're already out there doing the work now. That's being done in addition to what, so they already have numbers. They should be coming back with recommendations to us at any time to say we have this, or this to work with.
Councillor.
I guess we just need to be very careful about making any
doesn't break out zones 3 and 4 as an independent entity in Lantern Shores numbers. And so we have to define what that is. And that was not part of the working group's mandate. And that's where the problem comes in. If we arbitrarily just try to do some calculations on paper about what the zone 3 flows would be because there's 1,888 houses there, or just try to do it in-house, and we don't have an independent person helping us to work through those numbers and give us some really reliable data, we're going to get ourselves into a position that we're going to overpay for operating costs, and life cycle replacement costs, and capital costs or debt costs, because we are allocated too much in this new facility, whatever it is. So we have to, if we're going to be smart money managers, we're going to have to be more strategic about it and say, okay, in 20 years, what can we realistically expect to come into this plant? And if it's shorter, that's fine. We can go on to phase 2. It's not going to hurt. But we'll realistically say that this amount will come with this amount of buffer zone, and we can build the plant to that capacity right now. I think it's a very reasonable approach that's fiscally responsible. So we need to be very careful with the money. And then, yes, we'll expand if and when we need. And if we have big developments in the future, they will contribute to the costs, right? But right now, we don't have any pending development that's going to come and bring us massive amounts of money that we can't accommodate in that buffer zone that we're going to allow for. So it only makes sense to me that, yes, we have to define it, because it doesn't say in here what zones 3 and 4 are going to, what they contribute to the plant. So let's get somebody else to help us so the working group can go forward. And they really do need it by the 19th of June. You know, we really, really need it by the 19th of June. So we as a council are going to hold out the whole process and jeopardize the March 31st deadline if we don't make a decision.
Councilor Underwood.
I just want to clear something up in my mind. I was under the impression that zone 3s and 4 were always continuously, people were telling us that the numbers were way too high for zones 3 and 4 before. It was implied, at the very least. So if you take out zones 3 and 4, we will be looking at design the first phase of a plan that supposedly meets the requirements, which are already there. The issue has never been what elements. It's always been about zone 3s and 4. So if you take that out of the equation, and you know exactly what it is and how big they are, because we've got EAs and all the rest of this going on, I fail to see the problem. If you've got a working group and you say, well, you know now that zone 3 and 4 is going to be the next phase, or phase 3, where it's going to be, but the phase is going to be in such a way that we can probably be able to implement and augment or change it as time comes. But we should have all the data that's required by now, from all the engineering statistics and everything, to be able to design phase 1 of it. We must have it.
I think that we should have someone to give us perspective from an engineering perspective on the necessity of how we need to define it, because with regards to the information that we have already, as you're referring to, we do need some specifics we do not have.
Brent, are you prepared to witness?
That's not too intimidating, is it?
This is not the discussion that we had planned on. This is the discussion we had on the ad hoc report, which is for zone 3 and 4. Inspection systems, that type of thing. It's not, we're not talking about plant design and the building in and out. Brent, I'll prepared to answer any of those questions. Do we need to know these numbers? We know these numbers now. We've had our planning report. We've had our numbers.
Yes. At this point in time, what Stantec's going to come back to us and say, here's a range of technologies from everything we've looked at that we find is to be acceptable. The next step that they're going to ask is, again, how big do you want it? As I mentioned last council meeting, the working group's proposing a phased approach with the ultimate design of the plant meeting the requirements of the master plan and ESR. So at this point,